Just gonna adjust my camera.
Are you ready to elevate your fantasy team? Here is Joey the Tooth with your IDP update. If it's not IDP, it's not fantasy football.
Welcome to our newest episode of the IDP update. I am your host at Joey the Tooth IDP. Joined tonight, we are going offensive. I got my buddy here, Todd Foster, at FF_Banterman. Todd, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm digging that tune, baby. I was getting the groove.
Bro, I did that beat myself.
I know you did. I got your beat when I'm ready to start dropping my Devi stuff this year. It's ready to roll, baby.
Yes, sir. So what have you been up to these days, man? Why don't you tell everybody, what do you got going on? Because it's quite a bit.
Well, I am with you at the IDP, guys, and I've been ranking my butt off. So I dropped a top 100 Devi rankings that took me well over a month to put together. Many, many hours. Commentary on every player. And that took a lot more than you can imagine. And then once I was done with that, I knocked out a top 60 rookies list for Superflex rankings. You can go on there to get that. And then I knocked out the class of 2024 rankings. So if you play Devi, I went through, I grinded some tape. It's hard to call it tape. It's highlights for high school kids. But, you're judging, the landing spots, all that. I give my view on that. I swear I'm good at this. It's why I'm with the IDP, guys. So I put together a good list of rankings, and I'm ready to roll, baby. I'm ready for Devi season. It's going to be good. And, Joey, I'm going to be a commissioner for you in a league.
I know. I'm actually slightly disappointed about that.
My power is great now.
I feel like that's just going to be hell for me. And then I have the glory of having you and my best friend Snacks in the league together now that we're in a startup on. And it's like, what have I done to myself?
Yes, our trash talk videos last year for the IDP Invitational became lore in our group.
Oh,
it's been good stuff, man. That's some good stuff.
I was like, that's how I know we'll be good on camera together.
It was good stuff, bro. Yeah, man. So I'll be doing that. However, now that the rankings are done, I'm excited to write.
Yeah, man.
First article I'm going to knock out is I'm knocking out all the transfer running backs for college.
That's awesome.
Talking about the landing spots. Eric Gray, baby, to Oklahoma. Beautiful. But yeah, we're going to get into that. But hey, tonight's rookies, not Devi. Let's not get me too excited.
Hey, you know what? This is my first year in Devi, so you can talk about all the Devi you want because I'm going to listen. This is my first year for it. I was like, you know what? I have to get into it. It's just like it's stupid for me not to.
Okay, here's my piece about Devi. It is my third year going into Devi, and I can't put and the only reason is I didn't know about it before then. Once I heard about it, I was all in. I'm that kid who had the Street and Smith magazines looking at those high school rankings like it was my life, right? So first time I heard that LeBron James was a football magazine. No joke, right?
No shit.
Yeah, dude. He was the number one wide receiver in his class. Legit, dude. So anyways, long story short is when I got into Devi, I'm like, this makes you such a better dynasty player.
100%.
Like people like Spaceman, love my boy. He's gonna go in and look at those numbers at the end, spreadsheet and all that. I've been playing with these guys for 3 years and seeing what they've been able to produce. And you watch them and you keep your eye on them and you're invested in them. You have an advantage in a dynasty league by playing Devi because you're invested in these guys before they get there.
Yep.
There's a double-edged sword where you get a little too high on guys at times. I'm obsessed with Travis Etienne. I'll never let him go. You know what I mean?
You are. I know this. I do know this.
But you know what the other part of that is? That's the fun part of fantasy football, bro.
Get your guy.
You got your early guy, DJ Ugalele, man. That was my guy coming out of high school. I can't wait to plant that flag. I got him in 3 Devi leagues, dude.
I can't wait to watch him next year.
Right, dude. He looked good in those 2 starts. So, yeah, dude, Devi, man. If you don't play Devi and you play Dynasty, you're missing out. End of story.
You're falling behind the curve. You're definitely falling behind the curve.
100%. And, Devi, C2C is the way to go.
Yes, that's the only ones I'm in right now.
C2C is. I love that we're doing IDP C2C, man. Oh, it's fun. It's fun. Christian Harris.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
Also,
Love it.
my guy Todd here, he's joining us this year for our rookie draft guide magazines.
Indeed,
So
I
those will
am.
you can actually, if you can get those pre-ordered right now. Actually, I think they're ready for pre-orders, and we've already started our profiles. We're actually about halfway through. So.
Yep. Joey's been banging out profiles like crazy. I am behind Joey's number, that's for sure.
That's all right. I work at work.
Yeah, I'm knocking out Mac Jones this weekend. I saved him for last because it's gonna be a deep film dive on him, man. Deep film dive.
Actually, I wanna read that because I might need to use him sometime soon.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, man, like for me with Mac Jones, I know it's a wide receiver one. It's getting to a point where you gotta wait for that landing spot in draft capital for him, man.
100%.
Like it's all over the map. The last, like the guy on ESPN saying his floor was 8. That, like, come on, man, his floor.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's his ceiling. Are you confusing like places?
100%.
You know, but like, Mac Jones, if he ends up in a good situation, he's a good passer. But
right.
Everyone's knocking him out because the fact he was at Alabama. So I'm gonna dive in deep before I write that, man. I'm gonna dedicate a lot more time to that.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we get back, we're gonna talk about some of these middle tier wide receivers coming into the draft next year.
You.
MyFantasyFootballShirt.com is your place to get top quality fantasy football gear. Get yourself some merch from some of your favorite podcasts. Need some custom shirts for your league? Contact us today. Just go to MyFantasyFootballShirt.com.
And that's a beautiful website by our IDP guys owner at Nate Cheat. You can tell by his voice. We love Nate. We love you, Nate. All right, but
he's the man.
He is the man. He got this all going. I've been there for almost the start. I was one of their first writers to come on, and when we started really getting big, and I was freaking loving it.
I don't want to go anywhere, man. I love our community. It's so sweet. It's such a good place. If you're actually looking to crack into fantasy and you think you got some chops, IDP guys, it's a good place, man.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun, and we get along good. It's a good team. We got the IDP Invitational where we got charity going on. We raised almost $2,000 for Jesus.
Autism Speaks, man.
Thank you very much, my God.
All into it, man.
Yep.
Hey, I'm a special education teacher, man. I'm
really?
gonna remember that. Yes, I am.
That's awesome, man.
I've worked with kids with autism 15 years of my life.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for acknowledging it. Hey, can I plug one more thing before we dive into it?
Go for it.
FF_Spaceman would never forgive me not say that I am also the co-host of A Tale of Two Rivals, as on my shirt. So that is my podcast that got me into the space, man. I do not quite have his following, but at the same time, we grind it out. We have a nice consensus between, numbers guy and a gut. I'm more of a film gut guy. But when you do listen to the podcast, remember I am the 3P champ of that league. So whatever he's saying, I'm the winner. Just saying.
I have heard that a couple of times. Only a couple.
The avatar's getting updated soon.
All right, let's dive into Dyami Brown from North Carolina.
I'm in.
What do you like about Dyami?
Man, you're looking at a kid. He's got he's not like super big, 6'1", 185, 4-star recruit. Probably gonna run around a 4.5. Good. He had a good sophomore year, 51 catches, 1,000 yards. But the thing that sticks out about him is that he's always getting over 20 yards a catch, right? So he's exciting down the field. That's what he is. He's a guy who's gonna burn guys, get down the field. Really he's a dangerous deep ball threat. He's also fierce, man. When you watch him play, he loves to mix it up and break tackles, right? And I do love the way that he sets up routes and sustains those tight routes on the deep ball. And he clearly prides himself on those deep routes. When he makes his break, he's definitely coming back in on the D-back, so he's tightening that window for the D-back to recover. So on deep routes, man, Dyami's it, man.
Yep.
Dyami's it on a deep route.
Yeah, he's great over the shoulder. He's a good. He has great ball tracking, but like you said, that his deep routes. That's his niche. And unfortunately, I feel like that is just his niche.
Right.
I don't see him doing much other than that. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, man. His short routes, like he doesn't make like those clean cuts. He doesn't have like the great footwork on those. And the biggest problem on the short routes is when I dove into his tape, lots of drops.
Concentration drops, yep.
Lots of concentration drops.
Yep.
A lot of them.
He's turning his head too quick.
Yup. Like, it's kind of like his mentality changes of whether he's going deep or going short.
Mm-hmm.
And that just screamed, like, I watched 5 games of him, right? Yep. They were all the same.
Yeah.
And the same problem. It was consistent. You know what I mean? So, like, that's my thing is that, like, I worry about him. And you cannot be in the NFL and just be a deep ball guy. You know?
Right.
Like, nobody wants Sammy Watkins anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's got to be able to, like, move the sticks. And I don't see that. So he's got to, like, pride himself more on, like, being more decisive and running those cleaner cuts and working the short routes.
Right.
And the other thing I don't like about him is he wants to run everybody over.
Right.
Make a miss. You're a wide receiver.
Be elusive.
Yeah. You're not Najee Harris, bro.
Right.
Like I want to see you make
180 pounds.
Right. You're not going to run over like certain guys in the NFL. So yeah, when we talked about who we were going to do, this is a guy that I was so glad you brought him up because I significantly moved it down my board.
Yeah. So my biggest worry about Brown is he's a deep threat. He's going to be a deep threat in the NFL. We've kind of figured that, but what I hated watching on some of his deep balls is when it became 50-50 ball, he didn't always win. It was almost less than 50-50. It was almost 40-60 for him. He doesn't high point. He's not really great contested catch. I mean, he's got to beat his man if he's going to win deep.
Yeah, 100%, man. He's going to catch the ball in stride. Or like if he's going to adjust, he's chasing the ball. You know what I mean? Like you don't underthrow him, you overthrow him.
Right. So my worry about Brown is like if your job in the NFL is to be a deep threat and you're bad in contested catch situations, how good of a deep threat are you really going to be?
Right. So the one thing about him that I will say though is that like those are all things that are coachable, right? So like you see the potential there, right? But those are a lot of red flags, right? So, like, for me to want to invest in him, I'm not betting on improvement, right?
Right.
But I'd like him as a late second if he lands with a guy with a big arm.
I was just thinking, my next question is, what's your favorite landing spot for him right now?
Indy. Indy.
Yes. Agreed, 100%. I was going to say Indy.
Ambiguous receiving core. You're number one right now on paper because Hilton's probably leaving is Pittman, right? Pittman's not a burner. Like Pittman's not going to be a deep ball guy. Like you think he might be like a bigger threat because he's bigger? No, he's actually he's just a big possession guy, you know.
Right.
But it's ambiguous. He can burn down the field, and Wentz is a cannon, you know.
So people forget about Paris Campbell too. So he's going to have a lot of one-on-one situations.
Exactly. And the other thing, too, is about bringing in a new QB. You don't have to worry about chemistry.
Right.
Everybody's developing chemistry.
Right.
You know? Like, when everyone talks about Green Bay, I go to myself, like, yeah, I get that, but, like, Devontae Adams is still going to eat.
Oh, yeah, 100%. No matter who comes there, Devontae Adams is going to be Devontae Adams.
Exactly.
Because Aaron Rodgers is like, that's my guy.
And Aaron Rodgers is very smart. He can make him his guy. There's a reason Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams.
Right.
You know? But yeah, I like that, man. I like that. Indy. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm the same. Indy. All right, so let's move on. Elijah Moore. I think we might have different perspectives on Elijah Moore.
I would love to hear your thoughts on him first, honestly.
All right. So he's got killer speed. So so the video you just posted a video recently. I hated his release originally. Like his release on short to intermediate routes. When I watch his game tape, he does not separate. The video you posted, sure, he was separating, but he was against Ole Miss corners. Like, I don't know one Ole Miss corner.
I love the disrespect you threw at the Ole Miss corners. There's still SEC corners. There's still SEC corners.
Yeah, I get it, but So the guys he played against, though, in the SEC, he
Right.
couldn't separate on those intermediate routes. He was using his speed on all his deep routes. That's where a lot of his production came from. That and gadget plays. Like he was running a lot of like these short screen passes, flip passes, almost like running plays.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, when he gets the ball, he's electric. I mean, he's elusive, he's fast, he's powerful for a guy of his size. And what I do love about him is his hands and his contested catch. So that bodes very well, especially with the video you just posted, because if he can learn to separate, he gets better releases at the line of scrimmage to go with his hands, then he can really succeed on those short to intermediate routes. So
I get what you're saying. I do actually. But the one thing I was excited about you said was like the number one thing we can talk about is hands.
Mm-hmm.
He's got freaking glue, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like unbelievable hands, catches the ball away from his body, comes down with it on contact, and he tracks the ball very well deep. So against Bama this year, early third quarter, there's a ball thrown inches from the ground. He's full stride, arms extended to his ankles, and it looks like when the ball hits his hands, it just sticks.
Yeah, he's got incredibly strong hands.
If you and I did that, we would hurt ourselves and not catch the ball. You know what I'm saying?
I would be in a lot of pain. Back pain.
Right. And then you're like, there was another play that game where he adjusts himself up in the air, downfield. Jordan Battle just killed him. And it looked like it didn't even phase him. And when he came down with the ball, diamond.
Yeah.
Like, he held the ball on a diamond while getting hit by Jordan Battle, and the ball didn't even scramble. His hands are unbelievable.
Right.
So when it comes to the release, man, I get that. Like, the potential's there with his feet.
Right.
It's coachable. But the thing that, like, you talked about with him getting downfield, I see him being, like, the poor man's version of Rondale Moore in this draft, right? Yep. The guy who's going to play that slot, be electric, move the sticks. Imagine, like, Elijah Moore sliding the Cole Beasley's role in Baltimore and Buffalo.
Oh, that would be nice.
Just getting over the middle, catching the ball, moving the sticks, And the funny thing, too, is, like, you talked about him being elusive after the catch. I actually didn't really love what I saw with him after the catch. Like, bro, I saw your feet before you catch the ball. Why does that not happen as much after you catch the ball?
Yeah.
He's another guy that I'm like, stop trying to hit people. You're 5'9".
Yeah. When I saw him in the open field, it was mostly on those gadget plays, like those flip plays out of the backfield. When he's breaking the edge, he's got some nice quick moves, just like a corner coming up, like 1-on-1.
Right. So I'm on a podcast with like one of the biggest number nerds on Twitter. Like, I love dropping his name, bro. And like watching people just go,
oh, that guy,
I'm like,
yeah.
The guy who's more famous than me. I know. But anyways, one of the number one stats he got me into was market share. Because it totally makes sense. How often is your team relying on you to produce yards? Right? Like, are you the man for your team? And Elijah Moore was around 35 to 37% the last 2 years as a market share. That's sick. Yeah. And you're talking about like Jonathan Mingo's there, Early's there. Like, his freshman year, he had 36 catches for almost 400 yards.
Yep.
AJ Brown was there. DK Metcalf was there. The kid can play, bro.
Yeah.
So, like, Elijah Moore, I think some people are getting a little happy. Like, I see him as, like, a 3 or a 4 on boards. It's like, guy, I like him too, but, like, calm yourself a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think if you want Elijah Moore and you take him at the 201, I'm not mad at you. I give you respect on that ballsy move.
Right.
But he's more of, like, a 205, 206 target for me,
Same here.
If you take him in the first round, you're out of your mind, Dave. So
is this one of Dave's plans? Is he taking him in the first?
I don't know if he's super high on him yet. I'm just calling my shots. I'm giving it about a month. He's going to be his boy in about a month.
Oh man, the more he digs in, because the numbers on him are great.
They're phenomenal, bro. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so I like Elijah Moore a lot. And I think that he actually is going to be a very good pro. And like the things we talked about with him, he has the ability to be better at those things. And coaching, I think, will do that. His landing spot means a lot to me. Like if he ends up in Baltimore, I'm probably all set.
If he lands in Baltimore with Duvernay and Brown already there, then Baltimore is a terrible drafting team.
Well, they already are.
Yeah.
They got, but they did trade up for Omar Jackson, so I'll give them that. But long story short is like, I got to see where he lands. Capital doesn't mean as much for me for him.
Right.
I think that like the Capital is probably still going to be like second, third still, but like wherever he ends up, like I want to see if he gets that slot position. So yeah.
Where would Buffalo then is where you'd like to see him?
Yeah, that was like, well, honestly, I didn't even really think about any spot. I think I just kind of like thought about that off the top of my head. But Buffalo's a good one. I think Buffalo's a good one. I actually feel like another team that would be really good for him is the Patriots. I think the Patriots would love a guy like that.
And it'd be nice for Edelman to give him some of those tips on the release.
Yeah, so when Edelman's finally gone, like, you know what I mean? Like, Edelman might be gone this year. He might get caught.
I know.
It's hard, man. I get it. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. We're Pats fans. You know what I mean?
Ooh, not me.
Oh, you're not?
Oh, I'm not. I'm a 49ers fan, bro. I know. I live in Connecticut. 49ers fan.
Okay, we can't get too off topic right now. But I'm like, that's going to be the next hour. But the long story short, man, is I feel like he's a kind of a guy that like can move around the formation and like the gadget pieces. Like I feel like a guy like Belichick would enjoy him, So like or McDaniels, it's really Bill. But long story short is like that's another place. But Buffalo would be perfect.
Yep, I like to see him land in Washington actually.
That's a good one. I like that.
So he can play like that Curtis Samuel type of role in Ron Rivera's offense. They need receiver help, obviously, and they need a little more help in other places too. So Elijah Moore is kind of maybe that guy they can go in the third, grab him, and he can be their number 2 receiver.
Yep, I agree. I like that a lot. And the nice thing too is like I'm not giving up on AGG, man. Gandy Golden, Gandy Golden playing the other wide spot.
I know he got injured this year. I was really looking forward to seeing him there.
That was
at least give him a shot.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he was still at Liberty this year? What Liberty did this year?
Ooh, I know.
Would have been nice. Would have been nice. But yeah. All right. Who's next, Joey?
Let's see. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
All right. Let me get my notes up, buddy.
Yep. I got my handwritten paper notes over here. It's phenomenal.
Oh yeah. I'm the teacher in me has this perfectly with bullets and stuff. Yeah, so obviously he's part of the St. Brown family, So we know he doesn't stretch because cheetahs don't stretch. You know what I'm saying? So 5-star recruit. I think the thing that sticks out to me the most about St. Brown is that he was a baller at USC on day one. Freshman year, 60 catches, 750 yards, 3 TDs, 11 games, 26% market share as a true freshman at USC. That's impressive. That's
and
impressive.
People don't even remember him then. Nobody talked about him then. People still aren't talking about him.
Right. And like the thing about it is like he came in and immediately produced. And like USC, like I don't think they've gotten the same talent as they had in the past in like recent years, but at the same time, like I kind of do think that, breaking in there. I mean, the next year is a sophomore, 77 catches, over 1,000 yards, 6 TDs. That's with Michael Pittman, who like blew up, gets drafted. You know what I'm saying? So then you got 24%
Pittman was a first rounder.
Right. So then 25% market share, falls behind Drake London this year a little bit, but I think that kind of hurt his stock a little bit, but I kind of makes it more of a sleeper. So he had great production. Number one thing I love about this guy is what my comp for him is? Roy Jones Jr. Because I think he would be a badass boxer. He is so freaking aggressive and fights so much, and I love it.
Yeah.
So, like, I know this is a fantasy podcast, but his blocking highlights were my favorite.
Yeah,
like,
he's a vicious blocker.
He just wants to hurt the guy. It's awesome.
He's like Hines Ward in a smaller man's body.
Right, dude. It's phenomenal, but phenomenal hands. phenomenal hands, and he's actually got some hops. I mean, he's 6'1", he's not short, but like his jump actually is like when you watch him jump, you would think that he's super fast and super quick, but he's not compared to what his vert is.
Right.
Like on game tape. We'll see how he tests. But like, yeah, man, like I think he's intriguing, but yeah, what do you like about him, Joe?
First his hands. He's got good hands. Not quite Elijah Moore hands, but he's got great hands. He's got very good route running. He's a shifty route runner. He's got excellent lateral agility. Like he can turn his hips on a freaking dime. Like he can just change direction. And I love how he plants and just goes. He's got good athleticism. He's great, like you said, in contested catch situations. Super competitive. His body control, when his ability to just contort his body in the air to adjust to poorly thrown balls is phenomenal. And his sideline awareness. I really like him a lot.
I think maybe when I think about his vert, maybe it's more of like a hang time thing, because might not be the high point, but like when he gets up there and his body control,
it's unreal.
Maybe that might make it look like he jumps higher than he does. His body control is unbelievable. I have to say he's probably the best of the St. Browns, and like not really close in my opinion.
No,
you know what I mean? But yeah. So my problem with him is I don't think he's particularly fast.
No, he's quick, but he's not fast. He gets a separation from his footwork and his agility.
Right. So, like, if you look at him on a route past 15 yards, he's pretty much step in step with a DB. Like, he's hand fighting, though he's a great hand fighter because he's a boxer. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, I'd rather not see you have to fight. I'd rather see you beat the guy.
Right.
So, beyond like 15 yards, like he's not really getting it done when it comes to separation. And that worries me at the next level, So that's a big mark for me, man. But I love this guy. I think I love him more as a football fan than as a fantasy man.
Yeah, I think I could see that too, because he's just fun to watch.
Right.
And like you said, his competitive nature is just I don't even know, it's electric. It's just like you watch it, it makes you want to play. Like it makes you happy watching him play.
Yes. And I think that, though, what his ADP should be, do you really think he's going to be like a mid-second? Like maybe like if he's your guy, but I feel like his ADP is going to be like in the 207, 208 range. He'll probably be able to slide 2.9, 2.10 in some situations.
Right.
That I'm okay grabbing him at. You know what I mean?
If he lands in a spot where like they need receivers, maybe a Miami if they don't do anything in the first round.
Ooh, I like
then
that.
I wouldn't mind that, especially with Tua, who needs help. He needs somebody to help him feel comfortable. But, I mean, so I think actually that would be my favorite landing spot for him, would be Miami, if they don't attack first round.
I'm not even, like, you're going to ask me, I'm with you. That's perfect. Like, if they attack first round, they don't attack receiver, which I don't think they should, honestly. Right. I think in that spot that they're at, I'm like, trade up for Swell. You know what I mean? Or see if Swell drops. You know what I mean? Get that pulse on that. Like, go get Tua's protection.
Right.
Best offensive tackle in like 15 years.
Right.
So
let him feel comfortable, because obviously he wasn't comfortable.
Yeah, dude, for sure. You know what I mean? And then go do that. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. But if they don't address it, go in and get like St. Brown is great. I also think St. Brown, because we talked about him as a player, like if you had he looks coachable, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He looks coachable. He's a football player. He wants to get better.
It's that competitive nature.
Yeah. So that's something that's a plus for him with me. So St. Brown, dude. He's polarizing for me, but like mid-late second round right now, unless the landing spot's juicy and some other guys' landing spots have to be pretty bad for me to make that move.
Yeah, I agree there. That's true.
Yeah.
So what about Tylan Wallace?
Oh, Tylan Wallace is my boy, bro.
Yeah, the more and more I watch him, the more and more I like him.
Yeah, this is my favorite guy. Let me just get up his stuff. All right, man. So you got the size. He's smaller. So he's 6 foot, only like 190. Though it's funny if you look around, sometimes he's 5'11", sometimes he's 6 feet, sometimes he's 185, sometimes he's 190. He's like the guy who's like the most polarizing of metrics. So 4-star recruit, you know, he was clocked at a 4.58 in high school, right?
Yeah.
So he's supposedly he could get under a 4.5. You know, I didn't like those sources that I read, so I'm not like gonna really put that down there.
Yeah.
But when you watch him on tape, like
he looks much faster than a 4.5.
Right. So maybe, you know what I mean? But unbelievable production. You know what I mean? Like you're talking like sophomore year breaks out 37% market share, 86 catches, almost 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns. Junior year, bro was blowing up before he went down with that ACL.
Yep.
47% market share. He almost made up 50% of their passing offense. That's gross.
That's ridiculous.
Senior year, he regresses to 35%.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. The dude ate, man. So, you know what I like about him? Everything. Everything. That's the thing. He's good at everything. He might not be great at everything, but he's good. He doesn't have a lot of
bad at.
Exactly. Outstanding route runner. Phenomenal hands. Takes those hits while keeping the ball.
The 3 years of catch, man. The contested catch is so tasty watching him. He's so aggressive at the high point. Dude.
Right. Production standpoint, 3 years of elite production. Not 3 years of good production, elite production.
And not with great quarterback play.
Correct. The Spencer Sanders sucks. I don't say it. He's a better runner than a passer. He sucks. I don't even like. He's a good C2C guy for like college production, but I want nothing to do with him because he sucks. So, my biggest things about him are continuing to get bigger and stronger and staying healthy. That has nothing to do with his game.
Right.
That has nothing to do with his game.
No.
The only thing, when I dove into his film, the one thing I really wanted to see a little bit more of was the yak.
Right.
A little bit more yak because he's not super shifty. He's another guy that I'm like, there's something about this class that just thinks they're all tough guys who wants to run through people instead of around him. So I freaking love him, bro. I freaking love Tylan Wallace.
So are you going to reach in the first for him?
It depends on the makeup, man.
Yeah.
Roster construction, scoring settings. If it's PPR, I mean, if you're not playing PPR at this point, what the hell are you doing? But long story short is like, I think him at like a 112 is not a bad pick. You know, if you want to take him over Kenny Gainwell, not crazy.
No.
If you want to take him over Kenny Gainwell, I don't know. I think that's it. Because like, I think he's my wide receiver 6. I think the wide 5, when you're looking at, you know, Chase, Moore, Bateman, Smith, Waddle, just gave you a little peek into my top 5 there.
That's it.
Right? Yeah. In order.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right? And then Wallace would be 6. Right? I would say that he's just a smidge below Waddle. If you took him over Waddle, I think that's spicy. And I don't hate it. I don't agree with it, but I don't hate it.
That's hot. That's a hot take.
Yeah. Well,
I love Wallace.
I would take Waddle. I Waddle.
Yeah, I'm a big Waddle guy myself. I always thought that watching. We're gonna veer off a little bit real quick. We're watching Devonta Smith and Waddle. I was like, it's Smith, man. It's Smith by a huge point. Because I remember watching when I was trying to watch Judy and
Ruggs.
Thank you. When I was watching those two, Smith jumped out. Like, I'm watching Smith. I'm not watching these guys. I'm watching Smith. So then Waddle comes in and he gets hurt. He plays well. He gets hurt, and I was like, it's Waddle. But then I decided this offseason go back and watch the games he played, and I was like, damn. Waddle's freaking electric, and he's a little guy, but his contested catch, his high point, he does everything well.
He's a maniac.
So he's a maniac. I moved him up to my 3 behind Devonta Smith, and Devonta Smith is still teetering with Chase, but Chase's athletic profile I think keeps him ahead of Smith.
Chase, everybody else. All right, flat out, that's me, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to ask me who my 2 through 5 is, that might fluctuate. One's a lock. One is a lock. But when it comes to Devontae versus Waddle, I think Waddle has the highest ceiling from his athletic profile, but you can't deny how technically sound Devontae Smith is.
My gosh.
And that production, like the fact that he won a Heisman as a wide receiver at that side is unbelievable. I gotta respect that. That's the thing I can't get over is his production. And Waddle really didn't have it at Alabama. Like he never really emerged as the super productive that.
Right.
On film, he pops, man. And I'm a huge Waddle guy. I got him in a bunch of Debbie weeks. I'm not hating on Waddle. The thing about the reason Waddle is my 5 is he's in a stat class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Bateman is made for the NFL route running, bro. He is the safest floor guy that's not really like dependent on me. And I think the highest ceiling in this draft beside Chase is Rondale Moore.
Oh my gosh, man. He gets a lot of disrespect too, but just watch him. The dude is freaking electric. And what did he just post? A 43-inch vertical, was it?
Yeah. Did you ever see him do the 450-pound squat?
Yeah. Well, look at his build.
Yeah.
He's a tank.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad we're talking about these guys too. We should anyways. But my point is that he also breaks tackles. He's the kind of guy that they're going to be able to figure out how to use him the best possible way in the NFL. He is electric. He is the closest thing we've seen to Tyreek Hill as an athlete since Tyreek Hill.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, all right, I'll drop a spaceman stat with me because I was talking to him about him. All right, I was like, bro, so I dropped this it was a post and it was about any guy under 5'9" that has been a top 20, top 12, top 24, top 36 receiver, right? For top 24 over the last 5 years, it only happened 3 times. For top 36, it only happened twice, right? Now, the only thing you're looking at is size. And I know when I did this, because I was just curious, because I actually wrote Moore's profile for the magazine, right? So that's why I did it. And I know in my mind, I go, of course there's not going to be a lot of guys. There's not a lot of short wide receivers. So, of course, the numbers are going to be lower. So I post it on Twitter just to troll Dave, just to annoy him. Peter Howard blew up on me, bro. Just jumped all over my data. And I'm like, dude, I'm trolling your numbers, buddy. It was hysterical, bro. He had no idea it was a joke. And everybody jumped on me. It was so funny. It totally backfired on me. But Dave Dave really got into a conversation with me about it, right? And he goes, "You're forgetting the fact that if you look at it, there's no correlation that says it matters because there's no difference in the data because they never proved that short guys don't matter." And I was like, "What? Oh yeah, I was just thinking small sample size. That's a really good point." I didn't even think about it that way. So, of course, there's not going to be a lot of success. There's not a lot of short wide receivers. Right. They're rare, you know. And so, the 2 things I learned about that is I'll be careful about posting a joke about data on Twitter again.
It's tough.
And I should have respected Jamison Crowder a lot more over the last 3 years.
Ooh, I have him freaking everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been a better trade target. I mean, I just didn't get shares of him in drafts, but he definitely should have been a trade target, man. But yeah, so that was my that was one of my favorite Twitter experiences. I thought it was hysterical. I'm like, man, I'm getting lit up over here by the analytics.
Well, at least I know the whole analytic crew now.
Yeah, right. I was totally, my trolling just totally backfired. It was so funny. I was like, all right, whatever. But anyways, yeah, man. So Rondale Moore, man, to me, right up there, man.
Yeah, he's got a huge ceiling, I think.
Yeah.
But back to Tylan Wallace. Where would you like to see him land?
Tylan Wallace land. Let's see. Washington would be nice, dude. On other side of Terry McLaurin, that'd be nice. Let's see. At Miami, obviously, would always be a good spot. Maybe San Fran. I can see that.
Ayuk, Debo, Tylan Wallace.
Yeah, I can see that. Indy, dude. Yeah.
Indy would be good.
Indy would be good. That's it. I think I wrote that down somewhere, honestly. I think that was my pick. Yeah, Green Bay. I love that. I love that.
He's an elite wide receiver, too.
Mm-hmm.
And you have somebody that across from Devontae Adams, it's like
That's perfect. That's perfect. Oh, actually, all right. His best ceiling play, Detroit. And Kenny Golladay walks.
That's true.
And Marvin Jones walks.
He could become the wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
He is the wide receiver 1. There's nobody else.
Right. And, like, I think Jared Goff's, like, a little underrated at this point. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Jared Goff is going to be like Tom Brady, because no one ever will be Tom Brady, especially not Joe Montana. But moving on.
Dude, so you're right. So we're going to talk about this. I was always that guy, being a Niners fan, says Joe Montana, the guy just wins. And then, like, as the years kept going, I was like, Tom Brady just keeps winning. It's like, suck, bitch. So it's like within the past few years, I've had to come to terms with, yes, I am a huge Joe Montana fan, but Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
There we go. That boy.
And
nobody touches Jerry Rice, bro.
No.
Nobody.
Oh man, I hate when
like
people try.
as a Patriots fan, like I don't want to hear Randy Moss. It's Jerry Rice.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you can come to terms with that.
Of course, bro. Of course. So, like, to me, it's kind of like, it's a revamping offense. They're, I have no idea what Dan Campbell's going to do except, like, lead the leagues in, like, kneecaps. Right. So, on top of that, though, it's that, like, you got, like, Goff coming into a new situation. You still got, DeAndre Swift. So, I don't think that the Lions are going to be good next year, but Terry McLaurin was productive in a really bad team. You know what I mean? Right. So, like, Tylan Wallace just getting there, he would get targets. So, like, I like Detroit for success with, like, I would say, like, Green Bay, you're looking at him having more of a chance at touchdowns. You know what I mean? Where I feel like for targets, you'd be seeing, like, him just, like, eating in Detroit.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I think Galladay's not coming back. Sorry, Nate and Sean. I think he's going to greener pastures. I think, dude,
that whole situation in Detroit is just ugly. Upper management, everything, it's horrendous. I'm sorry, they don't draft well. Jelani Tavai in the second.
Right.
Huh?
And you know what, man? Calvin Johnson's not walking through that door. Barry Sanders not walking through that door.
No.
Herman Moore's not walking through that door.
Calvin Johnson left.
Maybe. Scott Mitchell, maybe.
Calvin Johnson is on bad terms with the organization.
Right.
It's like, it's that bad.
They made 2 Hall of Famers retire early. Good stuff.
We're getting fired.
I'm definitely getting fired. I started this. I hope you're ready to take over my rankings, bro.
God. Not doing it. I did the projections. That's it.
Oh, good stuff, bro. Good stuff. But yeah, no, man. I love Wallace, man. He's definitely my wide 6. That's my boy. But yeah, man, that's I love him, man. And he's so this is what I like about Wallace in drafts, right? You obviously see that top 5, you see Pitt, you see the QBs, right? And then you see those 3 running backs off the board, right? Tylan Wallace has to be an early second round pick. He's the definition to why second round picks are huge this year.
Right.
Tylan Wallace is like a 1-8, 1-9 pick in most drafts. He's like,
next year.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like, actually, next year he might be like 1-5. It's gonna get off the draft. So, 1-2, 1, like 2-1, 2-2 is probably where he's going. So, my best advice to anybody listening to this: buy second round picks. Buy second round picks. Like, if you did your homework and your league did not, you're getting a steal, because these second round picks, anything from 2-1 to 2-4, is essentially like late first round value most years. And then you know what the other part of that is? Go get the early third round picks that everybody just wants to throw in as kickers, because those are probably like mid seconds, late seconds. You
know what I love about playing in these IDP leagues? You get those elite IDP players at the beginning of the third and end of the third. It's like,
oh, okay. So that was the coolest. So like the first 2 drafts we did, like I did really well in one of our leagues, and then I blew it in the playoffs. And then the other league, I traded a bunch of assets in rebuilding. I did not draft well for IDP for rookies, right? I learned so much in that draft, being like, I could have no idea where these values are. But the
Yeah.
whole time, like I actually had like an okay draft, but I was looking at it being like beating myself up, being like, I should be better than this. So like,
when do I go? When do I go?
yeah, I've learned so much about IDP just from like being with you guys, like, and I actually like I run an IDP league for like it's in year 6 now, like it's not like I'm like born to it, but I'm not like you degenerates. So
it got bad.
I'm getting up there. I refuse to write IDP for us. Like that's a lane that's very well served at this point by us. So I'll do the other stuff.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. So long story short is that like I agree. In IDP leagues, man, like that mid-second is going to be disgusting this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good talent. Like the edge class is great. It's not amazing. There's nobody that's going to blow your mind, but there's probably like 5 or 6 players that are going to start.
Like, let's just talk about like I would say the gem of this class is probably Micah Parsons, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No,
he is. He is,
okay.
But his role. It all depends where he plays. Are they going to play him on the edge, or is he going to play like a Will? What's he going to do?
Yeah, that's a good point. My point. Okay, so this is what I'm saying to you is like, where's he slotting in rookie drafts?
A lot of people are going to jump and take him probably late first, but he belongs in. Yeah, there's a lot of people talking. I've done a couple of mocks. Super flex mocks where he's going in the end of the first. I've done it, but he belongs probably mid-second.
Yeah, like exactly.
Your top tier IDP guys shouldn't go anywhere higher than mid-second, especially in a super flex.
Well, even him going like to me, I could see him going late second in this draft,
right?
Because of just how deep it is on offense,
right?
Like you're gonna look at Kenny Gainwell and Parsons and tell to me that like it's definitely Parsons.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm going Gainwell, especially if he lands somewhere nice.
Right, exactly. And then like like so for me, it's kind of like Tylan Wallace or Parsons. No, dude, you know what I'm saying?
So this is the thing. Like, so Parsons' position is deep. So linebackers are super deep. So it's like you're not going to go in and you're going to spend an early second, late first on a guy who you can draft somebody in the 3rd or 4th and still get somewhat similar production or good production down the road. Or you can just wait and take somebody like Bobby Okereke, who's going in like the 40th round of drafts if you're playing that deep, and he's going to outproduce Parsons. So you're not wasting that rookie pick.
I'm so upset you dropped that name on me because he's the guy that every time he's picked, I'm like, that guy. I'm like, I always forget about him. Like, I know he's worth more than that pick because I've done a. Oh my god, dude. Okay, we have to talk about this. One of the not the last mock we did, but the second to last mock where you were 12 and I was 11.
That was fun,
right? That was fun. Every IDP pick I wanted, you sniped.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one.
It's timing.
So, okay, my poor wife has to listen to me talk about this stuff. And like she actually knows who you are because I would like I gotta do my trash talk video. Oh, for Joe? Yeah. So and my wife's name is Joanne. I call her Joe all the time. Yeah, Joe about beautiful. Joe. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I said to her, I go, I feel validated about like IDP from this guy. Everything like he's like one of our IDP guys, and he keeps taking all the guys I want. Like I think I'm actually I'm better at this than I think. And she looked at me and be like, okay.
She's like, good job, honey.
And then she's like, she has no idea what IDP is, and she does not ask. And I go, that's fair. Don't care. That's fine.
Thanks for listening.
I just need somebody to hear out loud. I'm like, Joey keeps taking all my guys for IDP. I feel good about that. So yeah, but if it was a real draft, I'd be very mad, Joe.
Right? Yeah, I think you express that quite often. If this was a real draft, I'm pissed.
That's true. Yeah, man. But nah, dude, yeah, this was fun, man. I mean, I can't believe this is the first time we've done this together.
I know, it's pretty amazing. Actually, considering how much we actually talk, like, well, not talk, but tweet.
Text. Yeah. Tweet. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Man. But, so I definitely think there's more wide receivers we need to cover. Like this mid-tier, there's some more mid-tier. So I'm going to bring you back on. I'll find out a time. It's probably going to be within probably like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Man.
I'll definitely let you know. And why don't you tell everybody where you're at, what you're doing, where we can find you, and we'll get it the hell out of here.
All right. get comfortable because it's a little bit. All right, so I am at FF_Banterman. So that is me on Twitter. Always feel free to hit me up in DMs. I'm always down to talk about trades, Devi, whatever, man. Like I just love talking fantasy, and I'm pretty well versed in it all. You want to talk to me about like anything, like particularly basketball, I'm down. On top of that, I am writing for the IDP rookie guys that we are collaborating with, the Dynasty Vipers over there, who have been killing it with their podcast lately. Killing it, dude.
Seriously.
Like, that last one they did was nuts.
I know.
Just insane stuff.
Special visitors. It's like, what?
Craziness. So the profiles I've done so far are, and I'll do more. I've done Moore, Rondell Moore, Marshall, who we should talk about next time, right? Who else have I done? Kenny Gainwell. And my other one was a player to be named Eric, I'm forgetting him right now. So I've done 4, but I'm going to knock out Mac Jones this weekend. Nice. Definitely go on IDP, guys. You'll find all my rankings for Devi. I'm also doing the Superflex rookie rankings. And look for my writing on the IDP guys soon. I've actually already started it. It's a running back transfer snapshot where I will be including my rankings. I'll be talking about guys in their new landing spots. Go get Eric Gray now. That's my preview.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, man. Anybody who's listening, if they have any questions about anybody we covered, hit up me or Todd. We're always willing to respond. DMs are always open. We'll be coming back. If anybody has anybody they want us to cover before I put out who we're looking at, send me a message. Send Todd a message. We'll cover them. I mean, this is my thing in the off season. It's rookies. It's draft season, man. I love doing this.
Dude, I'm also the co-host on the Tale of Two Rivals. Second time I've done that tonight.
Oh, man. Spaceman's going to slap you.
Actually, tomorrow we're doing wide receiver tiers, too, so look for that episode.
There you go. Maybe they shifted a little. No, probably not. I think we're pretty much all the same.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, right, man, it's been a blast, buddy.
Always, Todd. Thanks, man, and I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Later, world.